My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every week, we break down full fight cards, giving you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And this breakdown is brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. BETU Play to Earn is the world's first play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. Next up, at UFC 271, we have Alexander Hernandez versus Renato Moicano. Renato Moicano is 15-4 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, coming off a nice submission win over Jai Herbert. Alexander the Great Hernandez, 13-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, alternating wins and losses. And Alexander Hernandez, he's had an interesting run in the UFC. He's alternating wins and losses. He looks like he can be a world champion in one fight, and then he'll come out and just be an absolute dud in the next fight. He's beaten some really good people. Like, he beat Beneil Dariush. He smoked Beneil Dariush. He beat Trinaldo. A lot of people thought that was close, could have gone the other way, but that's still a very good win over a very tried and true veteran. And Alex is a solid wrestler. He's a solid athlete. He has power. He has speed. He's got good technical boxing. Sometimes he does struggle to mix in the wrestling, which allows his opponents to settle into a rhythm and pick him apart. It's very similar to Miles Johns that we broke down last week, except I will say Alexander Hernandez is busier than Miles Johns. He's a little more than just waiting for one big punch. Renato Moicano is a high-level BJJ black belt who actually just beat Chase Hooper in a grappling match last month. Grappling, not a fist fight. And Chase Hooper's not exactly, but he's skilled, and Renato Moicano had no issues.
He's a very good grappler.
Yeah.
That's what he's known for.
He's known for his UFC grappling, not like competitive tournament grappling. And Renato Moicano handled him. He isn't a one-trick pony, though. He's a technical striker. He doesn't really have stoppage power, but he has a nice volume and good pace rhythm that he gets going. The concern, though, is his chin. Moicano can hang with the better strikers as far as technique is concerned, but his chin will not hold up to any real tests that get sent that way. And it's an interesting fight because I think these odds are wide. Moicano's almost a 2-1 favorite. I definitely think it's wide. I understand why he's the favorite. He's the technical striker, has good volume, very dangerous on the ground. But I think Alex is a way better wrestler, has way more power, real power, has a much better chin. I think if Alex strikes with Moicano and he does not threaten takedowns, then Moicano can settle into that rhythm, touch him up on his feet, potentially get his own takedown, and really take over. But I think if Alex does mix in a takedown or two, or at least attempt them, then he can come up over the top, big heavy power, make something happen, and then go from there. Get Moicano thinking, do I have to defend this takedown? Should I strike? And really mix it up. I like Alexander Hernandez to win this fight. He is my pick here. Let's not forget, Moicano is a 45-pounder that's moving up to 55 after the KO losses to Aldo and Korean Zombie. So I think Hernandez is bigger, faster, hits harder, better wrestler. Moicano's more dangerous on the ground. Moicano's the more technical striker. I like Alexander Hernandez here. You're making faces, you're making noises. What's your problem?
Moicano, you mentioned his 4 losses. You mentioned Jose Aldo, Korean Zombie. The other 2 losses are to Brian Ortega and Rafael Fiziev. So this guy is only losing to the absolute tippy top of the best of each division. And I think he should win this fight. But damn it, man, Alexander Hernandez, for some reason, I was watching an interview. I think every time I pick him, he loses. Every time I pick against him, he wins. The guy goes back and forth. I can never dial it in. But I was watching an interview with him, and this guy used to be like the biggest douchebag in the world. Before he fought Cowboy, he was like the biggest douchebag. And
he was awful leading up to the
Cowboy humbled the shit out of this kid, which was good to see. And I was watching an interview, and he basically said, the one thing I didn't really love, but he said he's the fastest person in the division. He goes, I watch the division. I don't see anyone faster than me. It's like, let's relax with that. But he mentioned that before he kind of didn't mix in takedowns because he didn't really trust his cardio. He had to get to a point where one fight he was focused on wrestling. The other fight he was focused on striking. And he's finally getting to a point where he's mature enough to be able to focus on every single thing in a fight and use all his tools without having to worry about his cardio. He also mentioned that in a couple fights, the Drew Dober fight and the Thiago Moises fight, that he walked into the fight and felt like he had pillow hands. He just didn't feel like he had the power in his hands. He didn't feel like he was training enough, and he was going in those fights thinking, I can't knock these guys out. I got to do something different. He ended up losing both those fights. He says, now I feel the power in my hands. I know what to do. I can trust my cardio, and damn it, man, he convinced me, and he almost convinced me enough to put him as my lock of the week. That's how convincing he was in this matchup. I love intangibles for fighters. I love fighters that are confident going into fights, and I think he's going to be there, and I think he's going to be all over Renato early and often. I think he win this fight on the feet or on the ground. And for some reason, I just love Alexander the Great in this matchup. He's not my lock of the week. I'll put him as my backup lock of the week in case something happens to my lock of the week. But, yeah, I guess we agree again. I don't know, this is like 6 fights in a row. I'm taking Alexander Hernandez.
Well, yeah, so I'll have him in DraftKings because he's $7,700. And I think, I don't see Moicano knocking him out. Certainly, he's always live for a submission. But I do think, if Alex is on top and he dictates the wrestling or the takedowns, that shouldn't be a problem. You like him for $7,700 in your lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be tough because I don't know if he even should really mess around with the wrestling. I think that he can dictate this fight and use his power on the feet because, Moicano is very, very skilled on the ground, and Alexander could find himself in some trouble if he gets a weird takedown and all of a sudden the guillotine's there. So I would prefer Alex stay on the feet, maybe like an end of the round takedown, 30 seconds left when you can't really get in too much trouble to steal rounds. I like those, but $77, I'll see how it plays out. He's definitely a great, great value at $7,700.
Yeah, I like him there. I don't know if I'm going to place a money line bet on him. We'll see what happens. Maybe I get some line movement, or
I think I did.
I might do Alexander Hernandez. I might do Alexander Hernandez wins inside the distance, decision, no action, because he does have real power in his hands. I think he can survive, right? If Alex loses, I see him losing a technical kickboxing match. I think Moicano is actually the more technical striker, and I think he could outstrike him, maybe get some takedowns, ride him out there. So I might do that bet. I'll take a look. If you like a safety net bet like that, wewantpicks.com/bets. BetOnline is the one betting partner that offers anything like that. Check it out. Make a deposit. Let me know. I'll send you $50. Monkey knife fight to me is a clear more. Yeah, I think we agree.
We're on the same page, man.
I don't love it,
this.
man. I don't love it.
I'm loving it.
I don't love it. I don't love it. We are not the same. I like the more monkey knife fight because, yeah, I think they're going to go at it. I think it's closer to a decision than it is a finish. And, those are not very high numbers. So make sure you hit those monkey knife fight lines as soon as possible because they move with the money. If you're watching us live, log in on another tab or on your, open the app on your phone real quick. Hit this more because it will move by the morning. If you're watching it later, check it out. See how much it moved and see if you're still comfortable with it. wewantpicks.com/MKF.